the team's got in store for us today. It's the perfect mix for a cup final on paper. South versus North, two popular clubs with class players. And they get the finest of receptions. I presume they're ticket holders who just have come a bit late, but that's going to be close to kick-off now. Now, let's just take a final check on the teams, starting with Chelsea. And for Glenn Hoddle, it was his decision to leave himself out and make himself substitute. The team there including a number of players who are not English. Steen, who's just come back from injury, born in South Africa. Karin, the goalkeeper from the Soviet Union, as was Russian. Kjellberg is a Dane. Jonsson is a Norwegian. There are 3 Scots in the side, but it's the team that was expected, the team that started last week, and Glenn Hoddle preferring to keep himself in reserve. Now, what about the formation that Jimmy and Alan were discussing earlier, Trevor?
Well, I think the 2 central defenders, Jonsson and Kjellberg, are going to have their hands full with Mark Hughes, who I thought had an outstanding last few weeks to the end of the season, and is such a focal point to United's attack. Also, number 18 there, the anchor man in midfield, Eddie Newton, who will flip between picking up Cantona as he comes deep and then having to keep an eye also on Roy Keane's forward runs. And then, of course, the flexibility of that small attacking 5 who do interchange on occasion so dangerously.
Well, let's turn to Manchester United. They have 7 names on the sheet who bring a different nationality to this traditionally English occasion. The Dane Schmeichel in goal, past fit. Then the Ukrainian Kanchelskis, who survived a late injury scare that was kept very quiet. There are 2 Irishmen, Irwin and Keane, 2 Welshmen, Hughes and Giggs. And of course, there's the first Frenchman to play in the FA Cup final, number 7, Eric Cantona. And I would imagine that formation is pretty well established too.
Well, it's a typical solid back 4, isn't it, that they've had all season. A lot of people saying whether the small, nippy Chelsea forwards might cause them a problem. I think they'd like to squeeze up that back 4, and perhaps they've got to be wary of people running from deep like Peacock and trying to play the offside and not getting the decision. Kanchelskis and Giggs, I think, will find it difficult with Sinclair and Clark, both 2 very quick fullbacks, so I'll be interested to see if they can have the influence that many people think they might. And then, of course, Hughes and Cantona, sometimes so irresistible. We wonder what mood the pair will be in today.
Clark. This is Sinclair getting forward early on, the left back. It's a good run too. And he had Peacock outside him, and Sinclair's still there. Oh, and they dived in front of him to block it. Ince for 1 was back there. This is Giggs for Manchester United. Just look at the pace. Oh, Erland Johnson was the player in the way, and David Eller has gone straight to his pocket. This is going to be a booking for Erland Johnson on Ryan Giggs.
Well, that was the classic situation, wasn't it? Chelsea very unlucky at one end, because I thought if actually Sinclair hadn't stopped it, Spencer would have had a clear chance. But then the counter-attack, Manchester United so good, and that is a bad challenge.
Newton, Sinclair. In the way was Keane. Oh, Parker lost out there. Sinclair again. Little touch to him by Peacock. Sinclair's cross. Oh, and Steen came in, and I think Bruce left that for Schmeichel, and there was a misunderstanding.
Sinclair again, isn't it? I mean, that was one source of danger that I hadn't anticipated. I must say, he's very quick, but not so often in those attacking positions. There was a little bit of a misunderstanding. Steen was beyond the near post, couldn't flick it with the outside or try his left and then just run it out of play.
Ince, Cantona and Eddie Newton, who's sticking very close to Cantona in that area of the field, and he outwits him and robs him of the ball. And he's found Spencer, and look where Schmeichel is, and they'll need help. Pallister it was who got it away. Misjudgment by Schmeichel, surely. Back in by Burley. Well, it's still on for Steen. And Irwin gets pulled down. That's a free kick the other way, but Cantona lost the ball to Eddie Newton, and when John Spencer got in, I wasn't sure that Schmeichel was best advised to be there.
Well, once he started to come, he had to commit himself. It was a bit fortunate for United. They've got 3 covering defenders there. It could have dropped for Steen.
Burley. Peacock. Peacock! Oh, he's hit the bar! So near to 3 out of 3. Gavin Peacock. And play goes on while the crowd recover their breath. Hughes, what a let-off for Manchester United.
It's Gavin Peacock, flicks it onto his left foot. He's a 2-footed player, loops it over. Schmeichel had no chance. Another yard further out and it would have dipped in under the crossbar. Wonderful bit of skill, and I mean, that would have been amazing if he'd have got it.
Well, if Chelsea have got some sort of Indian sign on Manchester United, having beaten them twice in those Premiership games, not much has happened in the first half to suggest that they can't keep that record.
Here we are.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
consternation in his face
With
there.
his number 2 Brian Kidd there.
Discussing tactics, and he'll have said all he's got to say at half-time. I would imagine the tea would have been flying somewhere in the dressing room at half-time.
Cantona. Irwin. Parker. Cantona steals in. Couldn't get the real power into the head of the Frenchman. Keane. Giggs. They're just starting to build something here, United, it would seem. Irwin. Oh! Irwin, a penalty in the cup final. Dennis Irwin brought down by Eddie Newton on the hour, and Manchester United have a penalty.
Well, all the Chelsea players all put their hands on the head when the tackle went in. Look at that. I mean, he's had such a good game.
Well, the United players are looking at their injured colleague, but it's Cantona, I think, who'll take it. He's put the ball on the spot. And this will be interesting, won't it? The first Frenchman in a cup final against the first Russian goalkeeper in a cup final. And the last 2 penalties at Wembley in FA Cup finals have been saved. Dave Besant and Mark Crossley. But can Eric Cantona make his mark on the biggest occasion in the English game? Or can Karine? Cantona made it look like a practice ground penalty. He just stroked it in the corner and sent Karim the wrong way. And with this goal, the Premiership champions take the lead in the FA Cup final. Poor Eddie Newton.
But it just only highlights at the moment what an outstanding match he's had. He's kept control superbly and let the game flow when it's needed it.
Oh, they're struggling here. It's Kanchelskis in. Oh, he's given another one. Sinclair on Kanchelskis, a second penalty to Manchester United. Well, I can't recall this happening in a cup final before. Sinclair charges Kanchelskis down, and within a matter of minutes, 2 penalty kicks to the same side. Cantona in another battle of wits against Dimitri Karine. And again, it's 2-0. And Eric Cantona, and look at Glenn Hoddle, he's got the tracksuit off now. Eric Cantona creates some sort of cup final record, stroking in 2 penalties. This time the alleged offender is Sinclair, but all sorts of things are happening now. This is how he took the second one, and really it was just like the first one. He tucked it away in that corner, and Karine, who must have thought, well, he's going to change his mind this time, and he didn't.
Well, how fortunes changed, don't they? That first half, this is the challenge, you see. He's let it come across him, and then when Kanchelskis makes the first touch, the first contact, look, he's outside the penalty.
Hughes! Yes! Mark Hughes again! The Wembley Warrior makes it 3-0, and surely now the double is secure. Mark Hughes, Chelsea deflated, and Manchester United go 3 goals clear. Well, 3 in 9 minutes. And this time, oh dear me, you've got to feel sorry there for Sinclair. But Hughes now, what a record he's created. Loyal servant to Alex Ferguson. He got the vote over Robson today as the second sub. There's Brian. Really wasn't in any way unnerved or fazed by having to take 2. And Alex Ferguson will now give his 2 substitutes a taste of the cup final action. Lee Sharp, who looks thrilled to bits, and Brian McClair. The players going off are Kanchelskis and Irwin. Chelsea still at it. That's Newton floating it for Cascarino. 2 unmarked in the middle. Surely now. There's the shot on the turn by Spencer. And Schmeichel has reserved his best work. Or it's been reserved for him until the last few minutes. Corner again. Played short. Hoddle. Now Cantona. Now he's got players joining him. One of them is Mark Hughes. Now 2 to the left. Oh, and onside. Paul Ince for Manchester United. Can he finish it here? Ince. Oh, unselfish. Brian McClair. What a wonderfully unselfish piece of play by Paul Ince of Manchester United in England, to put this smile on the face of the manager, to give McClair the chance to score, and to confirm that Manchester United have won the double. Out came Karine, round him went Ince. He saw Clark was there, so he just rolled it back, and McClair accepts the greatest gift of all, an open goal in a cup final. It's 4-0, Trevor.
Well, rubbing salt in the wound there, Manchester United.
And Hughes has gone down injured. And there it is. The achievement is nearly unique. The praise is nearly unanimous. The double is definitely Manchester United's. The 6th club to achieve this remarkable feat. Chelsea crestfallen, cheerful in the first half, but cruelly played out of things in 9 minutes in the second half. Consolation for them, but jubilation for Manchester United.